Oh man, I just love that intro music so much.
Beautiful. I love it. Like a party.
Really beautiful.
All right. Well, guys, welcome to the second round of the Can't Commit to a Book Club with me, your host, executive producer Johna. I'm going to go around the horn and introduce my besties. I'm going to make KJ go first. I would like to introduce KJ, our kitty correspondent, and my other mom and my cat's grandmother as well. KJ, tell us about yourself.
Hello. Yes, I am the kitty correspondent for Pet Pals TV. I am coming up on the 1-year anniversary of my book, Raised by Cats, Behind the Mic and the Meows, coming out. So if you are a book lover and you love cats, you should go get my book at raisedbycats.com or on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million, and all the places. That's my shameless plug. Thank you.
Okay, and then we have Shelley from ConQuest Journals, who we're going to talk about something fun that she had come out today also. Shelley.
Hi, I'm Shelley from ConQuest Journals, and our website is conquestjournal.com, and we just released the perfect reading companion. It is the Waiting for the Night reading journal, and it has all kinds of pages in here to put your books you're reading, things you didn't finish, put your full book reviews like I did for today's book, and it even has a sticker page in the back.
Yes.
ConQuest Journals makes officially licensed Harry Potter, Supernatural, Friends, Rick and Morty, other stuff, but this isn't licensed. This is just us. So, we have
got the pencil pouch.
I got the pencil pouch.
She is the only person on this planet to have that pencil pouch right now, because I don't even have. KJ, flip it over so I can see the other side, because I have the one with the bad silver. Perfect.
There you go. Yeah, it's great. So you can,
Johna,
put them together, man.
Well, that's not really how you put them together.
Well, I don't know.
You put it on the front cut.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's so cute.
Patches showed me how to do it, Shelley. You should give a hard time. Yes, he did.
He slipped it on sideways.
That's what he did.
Patches is the one who said he literally said you should make your pencil pouch the size of the front cover so it doesn't fit on there weird.
I don't know. He handed it to me today that way, and I was like, okay, I guess that's what I do.
Wait, are there little elastic things in here? Are they I hope they're elastic.
Oh, yes. This is breaking news, guys. Shelley hasn't even seen the official one.
I have.
Yes, so it's got the little pouches inside.
So you can fit many little pens and pencils in there. Okay.
Yes.
ConQuestJournal.com. You'll get one, Johna. You'll get one.
Okay. And by the way, use promo code KJ today. Save 10%.
Woo. Do I get one?
And me and Haley need our pencil pouches, okay?
Well, you guys, just go to ConQuestJournal.com and use promo code KJ today, and you can save 10%.
Save 10%. Save on those taxes.
I'll just introduce myself.
I was getting there, Haley. I was getting there.
No. I'm Shelley's daughter, the last person to receive any of the products, even though I literally am her child. That's all I wanted to say.
She's also a 3rd grade teacher.
Yeah. I teach Spanish. So I teach everything in Spanish.
She's a Spanish immersion teacher. You don't teach Spanish.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway.
And I want to say that probably Tracy would argue with you, because I think sometimes you get stuff even before Tracy does, and she literally designs it all. So,
well, I know the guy who gets all of the deliveries. So
No, Johna,
you gotta know the right person.
Johna, I wasn't worried about being introduced. I just wanted everyone to know that I am literally her child and I get everything last.
Jessica, who is watching, is also a teacher. So she is giving you a shout out there, Haley. Woot for dual language teachers. Woot woot.
Yay!
Love teachers. My fave people.
All right.
Okay. All right. So since I know it's been a while since we all have read the book.
So bad. You guys know, like, I watch a movie, and by the time I walk out of the theater, I can't tell you what happened.
It's true.
I could watch a movie like 3 or 4 times before I could actually tell you what's going on.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, you guys. Haley says she can't hear us.
Oh no. Oh no. Can everybody else hear us?
Can everybody else hear us?
Right. Can you guys
Hi,
hear us? I
Pam.
can hear y'all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can hear everybody.
I think it's you, Haley. You don't get to hear us. You also don't get the pencil pouch. Haley.
She wants to know if she can leave and come back real quick.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that
Yeah,
would
why
be
don't
a
you
great
try that,
idea.
Haley? Go
Yes.
ahead. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll wait to talk. But I did, to refresh my memory, because I didn't realize, you guys, I had to look up for my book journal. Let me show you.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, because so you journaled in your new reading journal
about this book.
Me too.
Thank you, Johna. And so did Haley. Haley sent me pages last night.
Oh my God.
So
I would just like to point out that I just got mine today, so I didn't get to do any of that stuff.
KJ, I did it. Can you hear us now, Haley? She says, okay, better.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know what happened.
Look, Johna did it too. Haley, show us your book pages for this book.
Oh, hang on.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that,
I'm going to zoom in on Shelley while you're doing that.
So what? Okay, wait. I'm not very good. Okay, here. So you have like a start date and an end date. And I looked on Amazon, like when it was delivered. I read this book in 2 days. I didn't realize that until tonight.
Wow.
Until tonight, when I was like looking up all the stuff about it, I was like, oh my God, I read this book in 2 days. I had no idea.
Wow.
It took me way longer to read this book.
I mean, look at your pages. Hey, they're so
Oh my
cute.
God.
My favorite thing is that we all use color pens.
I don't know. Purple says witchy to me.
So. I did purple too.
Yeah.
I did purple too.
I get that.
Except I used black ink and then I highlighted my favorite words in a light purple.
Wow.
And then I used some of the washi tape. I am not good at this camera work. I used some of the washi tape in that
I need you to work on that, Shelley.
I need some improvement. Okay. So I did this as a refresher. Did you guys do that too?
No.
So I barely remember it.
I'm winging it right now.
Okay.
I get I know my overall feelings for the book, so like I can discuss how I felt about the book.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What I was thinking we could do is maybe go around and talk about what we're reading now, because I know that we've got people watching who also didn't read the book or aren't done with the book. So before we deep dive, which I thought maybe we would just do like open book discussion, if that's okay, and talk about what we've been reading since then.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that okay? President of the Can't Commit to a Book Club. Do you give your approval?
My approval.
Say, I'm executive producer Johna, and I approve this message.
I am executive producer Johna, and I approve this message.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make Haley go first. Haley, what are you reading right now?
I am reading. I
literally know
what I'm reading. I brought my Kindle here and everything, and then like I had that whole situation happen, and I lost it. Like it might be here. I got it on my phone. It's called
that's the prologue.
It's called the prologue.
It's the prologue.
It's called the X Hex.
Oh, I've seen that.
I was gonna say, I feel like anyone, well, obviously if you're watching this, you're probably a reader, but I feel like a lot of people have seen this book. I think it became like really popular last fall. I'm only on page like 85, but it is so funny. Like it's rom-com with like extra com. Like
really?
It is so goofy. So I'll tell you the premise without like giving anything away.
Wait. Okay. One question. I'm putting it in my to be read section.
Oh yes, everybody get your journal out and put it in the to be read.
Let's take some time and journal, guys. Okay.
Okay. So I need the author's name, please.
Aaron Sterling. Aaron with an E.
Got it. Thank you.
Look at that little kitty cat on the cover. That is too cute.
every chapter, that cat is on the top.
What?
I
That's
love
all
it.
you have to say.
Oh, it's a cat. I know.
Cat book.
So it's about this girl named this witch named Vivi, and it starts, she's broken up with this boy, and she's in the bathtub drinking vodka out of a silly straw.
Oh, you told me that.
And like
Been there.
her and her cousin, who like lived together at the time because they're 19, like her cousin is like, "Oh, we should like hex this D-bag. Like, let's whatever."
Classic
so-
19-year-old.
Yeah. So she's like, I don't know, we shouldn't. And then the cousin's like, we're not really going to. Like, we're using a Bath and Body Works candle called like Fall Harvest or
Don't
something.
give it all away. Don't give it all away. Just
I'm not.
Fall Harvest is the perfect candle for that.
Yeah. So anyway, they do this curse or whatever, and then it fast forwards 9 years, and then you find out what happens. But it's like super goofy, and I really appreciate that, because I think the last like the Society of Irregular Witches was very like brought out a lot of like nostalgia and like cozy, warm, but like emotional feelings. And I read this other book too, so this one's more like funny, and I like that.
It's hard. I think it's hard to write comedy. Like, I don't feel like there are a lot of books that make me, there are things I'll giggle at, but like an actual book that's like making me laugh is hard to come by. So I love this suggestion.
Yeah, I think it's just so relatable too. Like, who wouldn't like sit in the bathtub and drink vodka after a breakup and like, sit around with your girlfriends doing something dumb, Like, I think it's very, and I think a lot of the comedy comes in the dialogue, like just kind of like the quips that they say and stuff. So anyway, I'm really enjoying that one.
I love some good banter.
Oh, me too.
If the hero and the heroine have some good banter, I'm all in every single time.
Same.
All right. Who's gonna go next?
I'm trying to pull up my my title and screenshot it so that I can show you.
Shelley looks like she's ready to share with the class. Shelley from ConQuest Journals, you're next.
I limped into Barnes and Noble briefly on Saturday. I didn't run in. I limped in and saw our beautiful products on the shelves. But one of the booksellers at my favorite local Barnes and Noble, River Crossing, she said that this is one of her favorite books she's read in a long time. It's called Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. And it is, it's fantasy. It's kind of a historical fantasy. I mean, it's not like historically accurate, but it's definitely like a period piece. It's more like in Jane Austen times, that kind of moment with fairies and some sort of curse or magic that's gone awry. And I believe it's ultimately a love story, but I didn't dive too much into it because I like to be kind of surprised by it. I kind of briefly read the back. This whole thing of her having half a soul and how she's funny and ironic during that time period is really cute so far. So I've just started, but I'm kind of excited because it seems like a fun little read. And it's, I mean, as opposed to our normal fare of like Sarah J. Maas or something that's like, 500 to 800 pages, this is like 270 pages. So, that's easy peasy.
Nice.
What is that noise? Do you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything.
It's
Okay. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
We're just going to keep moseying on through.
It's gone now.
Yeah. It just like comes and goes.
Yeah, it's weird.
Ooh. Do we need to do a seance?
Haley cursed us. She did the hex.
I know.
Bath and Body Works candle.
So sorry, guys.
KJ, what are you reading right now?
I am reading a little book called Accidental Magic. It is the first book in the Myrtle Wood Mysteries.
I like that cover. It's so pretty.
Isn't it pretty?
Magic.
So cute.
I want to
Yes.
and
I'm really enjoying it. I'm not very far into it, but it is what I liked about it is that it like immediately you're interested. So this grandmother, sorry, you may hear my cats hunting. This grandmother is writing a letter to her granddaughter who they haven't been in touch in a while. And she's basically like, she's dead. And she has sent this letter to this granddaughter and was like, you get everything. And by the way, we're a magical family. And like, and so
those boomers.
Yeah, the granddaughter and has a daughter, and so they're like this redheaded Gilmore Girls with magical powers, but they were kept from their magical powers to protect them because there's something ominous coming. And so I mean, it's just like in the very opening chapter of this book, it sets up a lot of like really rich storylines. And like the daughter makes a comment about her crappy dad, and his name is Dean, so they're always like, ugh, Dean, like and it's British, so there's a lot of like bullocks, and there's some of the like British
I love that. Who doesn't love that?
So it's been fun, and I think it's going to go pretty fast. So we got the teenage daughter who's now like met a guy in town, and he's talking to her telepathically. So all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I have magic. Wait, what?" And so there's like a little bit of love and a little bit of magic, and then it's this mystery because the grandmother died under questionable circumstances. So it's got a little bit of everything.
It's saying in the genre, it's mystery and fantasy fiction. Is the whole series going to be kind of solving crimes or something? Would you kind of put it more in that mystery genre?
It seems like that's what it's going to be. Okay. I'm curious if if the second and third books continue with this family, or if it's going to be mysteries from the city. So what you find out is this little quaint village, like they all have magic and they all talk about it like it's not a big deal, but nobody outside the city limits knows that it's going on.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I wonder if we're not going to get like different people's stories.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying it. I know when I started telling Johna about it, she was like, "Are we just gonna read magic books?" Like, I don't know. That's what I read.
Not that I'm not for magic books, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just like sometimes I gotta branch out,
This is our witchy era, Johna.
It is our witchy era. It is.
It is, Johna.
And I want to just say, because the Reading Journal has a genre book challenge in it. So I'm trying to do some of my challenges. And now that I've got a rom-com and a mystery in here, those will be challenge books.
Nice.
That's why you were asking me, like, I need you to define the genre, KJ. What would you say it is? Like, you were... I'm like, wow, Shelley's very interested in this book.
Yeah, she's very interested, so I can write mystery in there. Yes. Okay. Johna.
Shelley said, I am taking notes diligently.
Taking notes. Okay,
Johna. I'm going to predict Jona's, what Jona's been reading. 18 spicy romance books since the last time we talked.
Not true. Not true.
Only 7?
I want to say that we really can't commit to a book club, or at least can't commit to a book, because we all talked about reading a book and then all of us went and read something else.
I mean, we read the book.
We did, but we could have read that other book in between, and none of us committed to that.
Okay, to be fair, that is because of the time crunch before Iron Flame comes out.
That's true.
True story.
If that were not, we're like, that's in 3 weeks. We'd have to fit in another book club. Just seems like a natural break, hiatus.
Thank you, Haley. I second that. I second that motion.
Okay, Johna.
It'll just be me on here. Like, I read this book. I don't have anything funny to say.
Johna gonna have book club like every 2 days. She reads so many books.
Okay,
so fast.
What are you reading right now?
Well, right now I'm reading, and look, I'll even pull up the cover because you guys all had your covers. It's called Electric Idol. That's my email. By Katie Robert.
We have a few people joining us.
Hi, friends.
Thank you, Aaron. I see Jay is here. We haven't been able to say hi to Jay just yet.
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
And Jessica's excited because she said she was going to suggest Iron Flame next. So yes, that is officially up next.
Oh, yes.
We're deep in the Fourth Wing.
We are
now. So
we got to talk about the release party and how we're going to do the whole Iron Flame thing. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Sorry, Johna. Back to you.
Okay. I'm reading Electric Idol by Katie Robert. And yes, it's spicy. Okay. Don't judge me. The book I read before this was not spicy at all. And I was a little upset about it.
What was it?
It was, what was it called? It was called, I'll tell you.
Was it a witch book?
Now. It's like, is it what?
A witch book.
No, it's not a witch book. Not everyone's obsessed with witches right now, okay?
The rest of us
witches.
Witch books.
I'm happy that everyone's in their witchy era, but like I've never I can watch stuff about witches and read stuff about witches, but like I'm not that deep into it. It's called 3 Things I Would Never Do. And it's like 200 and some odd pages. I read it in like 2 days.
Did you?
And it went by pretty fast. It's about this girl, can't remember her name to save my life. Lightning strikes her house.
Ooh.
And she has to move in with her parents with her cat. She has a little black kitten.
All right, I'm in.
And she's at her parents' house and she's in the bathtub and a tree falls on her parents' house while she's in the bathtub. So then this hot fireman has to come and save her, obviously.
Of course.
The hot fireman had to come save her.
Of course he did.
He has 2 dogs and she doesn't like dogs.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, I'll never date a guy with dogs. And then plot twist, her mom was she met the firefighter like the day before she was supposed to go on a blind date. So she went on the blind date. It was the firefighter.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is related, unrelated. I literally got ghosted one time because I told a man I was allergic to dogs. Like literally, he was like, I love dogs. And I was like, I like them, but I'm allergic. Blocked me immediately.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, Haley, when the first night Patches and I met, he was like, I don't really like cats. And I was like, well, then you're going to have to meet my cat immediately because there's no point in this if my cat doesn't like you and you don't like my cat.
Mm-hmm.
And so he met my cat right away because I was like, well, I don't even want to talk to you if you're going to tell me that you don't like cats.
True.
So,
I know. I love that. Jay was kind of the same way. And now we're already talking about getting a cat together next year.
Oh,
yay! Oh, how fun!
I know.
How fun! Yay!
Yeah.
And did you guys see the cat on the latest pencil pouch from
Yes.
ConQuest Journals?
So cute.
Oh my gosh, so cute! Reading a book. Look at that.
So
Yay!
Kitty.
But yeah, no. The book was good. I was a little upset because they kept leading in like it was gonna be like some more romantic things going on. And like nothing happened, and then they like got engaged and got married by the end of the book because like the dogs met her cat, and I was like, this is so unrealistic how her dogs are meeting her cat, and like her cat is like automatically best friends with one of the dogs, and then one of the dogs is like scared of her, like scared of the cat or whatever. I was like, this makes no sense to me. Like,
it sounds like more of a pet relationship book than it was.
Right.
Well, the whole thing was like, he doesn't really like cats. She doesn't like dogs. And so, but they really like each other.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so they're trying to figure out how to make it work because they want to be together, but like if their pets don't get along. And then her dad, because her parents are still together or whatever. Her parents are alive, guys. So
What?
fun.
Oh, wow.
I know. As an alive dad, I was like, oh my goodness. But her dad was telling her, like, he was like, oh, I had a cat when I met your mom, and your mom didn't like cats, so I just gave my cat to your uncle because your mom said it's the cat or me, and I loved her more. I was like, what? And her mom was like suggesting that she give this fireman an ultimatum, like, get rid of your dogs or you can't be with me. I was like, what?
What is happening?
I was like,
you know what? I had a lot of questions after the lightning strike already, so a lot of questions.
It was really weird because then when the tree fell on her parents' house, like, and her house was done being repaired, her parents came to live with her in her house, but she's like dating this guy, and her parents like, her mom's like, you're sneaking around with him. I'm like, this girl is 30 years old. Like, she's not sneaking around. She's dating a man and not telling you about it because it's not really your business.
Was this really a good book? I'm questioning it.
What do you rate it? You have to give it.
I'd give it like a 2.8.
Okay. Wow, you really dislike this book.
I'm glad I didn't write it down in ink in my to be read.
It was just something I've been like, I'm not gonna lie, like the Very Secret Society of Irregular Riches really put me in a book slump. Like I've been trying to like read myself out of my book slump, but I haven't found a book that's just like, yeah, this is it. This is what I want. This is what I love. This is why I read. Like, I'm just kind of like reading through books right now, trying to
see. That's why I
feel alive again.
If a book doesn't like get me right away, I'm like, oh, I wasted so much time reading that book. Like, you know, it's different to watch a 20-minute episode of something and be like, like reading's an investment, man.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
so
if you don't love it, it's like, oh, all that time, I can't get it back.
You know, that's why sometimes I go back to, and I know you guys don't reread, but Haley will be with me on this. If I'm in a book slump, like right now, I will sometimes go back and listen to a Lockwood book, or I've started my Harry Potter cycle all over again because I've read Lockwood like 3 times in a row, all 5 books. So I'm starting my Harry Potter cycle again for my insomnia reading. So I'm like Sorcerer's Stone on my Kindle when I don't have to remember what I'm reading and I'm just trying to go back to sleep or whatever. So, you know, that's what I do sometimes when I'm having those book slumps is I just go back to an old favorite.
But do you go back and read, or are you talking about you'll like put on the audiobook so that you can go to sleep?
I'll read.
Oh, okay.
I have my Kindle propped on my pillow laying next to me and I'll sit there and read until I fall asleep.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I do too.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me is like, since I've started, like I've gotten back into reading, like when I would get into a book slump, I just wouldn't read.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
I'm not reading anything. I was like, that last book killed me. I can't do it. But I'm like, no, we got to power through. We got to power through the book slump. We're going to get out of it. We're going to get out. But I mean, I've been reading that Electric Idol book. It's the Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. It's spicy. It's just like a retelling of like, you know, like Persephone and Hades and whatever. This
Greek mythology is awesome. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. Very spicy. Excuse me.
I think
yeah.
I've discovered that I was talking to Mom about this. I discovered I'm such a mood reader, which like I didn't really realize, but it makes a lot of sense how I would like start a book that I thought was really like right up my alley and like that's my genre. That's what I might want to read. But then like I get a couple chapters in and like I can't. Like I'm like I just really don't. And then I know this isn't up your guys' alley, but I've recently gotten into thrillers and they are a very quick read for me. And when I feel like I just can't with my, like sometimes the rom-coms are just not doing it for me.
Mm-hmm. I've been there, girl. Okay.
Yeah. So then I'll like pick up a thriller and I read those so fast because they're just so like, you know, plot twists all over the place. So sometimes I just have to ask myself like, am I reading the right type of book for my current mood right now?
Yeah, I know. That's kind of where I was at. Like, I was reading, like, I got into, everybody gets into their dark romance era. So, like, I was into the dark romances. And then I was like, first of all, am I okay? Because I've read, like, 10 dark romance books in a row. And I just don't know what normal life is anymore. And then I was like, okay, we'll start back into the rom-coms. And now the rom-coms, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I know you're going to get your happily ever after. I know your man's going to have, like, not a problem if everybody can see. So, like, I'm happy for you, but, like, I don't know. I might start. I have a few, like, mystery thriller books on my shelves. It's just so hard for me to get into them because I don't like. First of all, I don't like having to follow clues.
Yeah, but okay. I think the difference between, like, first of all, I don't know who Rooney Cartoony's actual name is.
That's Arina.
Arina, you should read Silent Patient, very good, and The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Those are two super popular thrillers that got me started on thrillers.
Frida McFadden is huge on Book Talk.
Yeah, she is, and worth it too. Frida McFadden was the first thriller I read over the summer, and then it made me want to read more. I think, like, I get that about the clues. I think the thrillers, like, I've been reading are more like, she read The Housemaid. Kind of like The Housemaid, like, there's not, like, a mystery. Like, all this crazy stuff just happens with these plot twists and, like, kind of, more like, honestly, I think of it as more of, like, suspense. And then, like, the plot twist is like a jump scare. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay. And then you're like, what the? And then I read The Silent Patient, and I kid you not, I threw my book across the room. I was FaceTiming Jay, and I was like, oh my God. He was like, are you? I'm not. I'm still processing. So, like, I would say, like, the thrillers for me, I find the ones that are more, like I said, kind of like suspenseful with crazy freaking plot twists are, like, what keeps me going. Because I feel that, like, I was really into Nancy Drew when I was little, but mysteries, mysteries like that nowadays, kind of like you're saying, following those clues doesn't seem to, like, keep my attention anymore.
My ADHD kicks in too hard to be following clues. Blue's Clues and Nancy Drew. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's follow the clues. And now I'm just like, just tell me who did it. Who murdered them, okay? Yes. It's always the husband, okay?
Yeah, mysteries are like a slow burn. You know what I mean? So,
Comment from Jessica, because I know this is one that I think everybody but Jona's read. She said, I'm reading Empire of Storms, Throne of Glass, Book 5 by Sarah J. Maas. I had to pause to read Irregular Witches, so I'm about halfway finished. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
This series got me out of my reading slump.
Yes, go ahead, Johna.
Jessica, for clarification, are you halfway through Irregular Witches or are you halfway through Empire of Storms?
I think she's halfway through Empire of Storms.
She commented earlier that she finished Irregular Witches about 30 minutes ago.
Yes.
So thanks for pausing what you were reading to read along with us. We appreciate that.
Yes.
But yeah, I know that I'm in the minority, but I liked the Throne of Glass series better than I liked. Did you too, Haley? Everyone that I talked to likes Court of Thorn and Roses better. I like Throne of Glass.
I think I like Throne of Glass better.
I am like a Throne of Glass baby. Like, Sarah J. Maas birthed me with the Throne of Glass series. I am forever loyal to, like, I seriously didn't read. I'm not joking. I didn't read for fun for 4 years. And that series got me out of a 4-year reading slump. And I tried getting my mom to read it for 2 years, and she read it, and it got her out of her reading slump. And I feel like, you know how everyone has a comfort character? Selena Sardothian is my comfort character. She is just so BA. I love her. She's so cool. I love A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I will never love characters more than I loved The Throne of Glass. I just felt so connected to them.
I love those. Yeah, and I want to say I feel like the timing of our book slump was really timing around the divorce, and it was hard to get into something after that. And Throne of Glass, then when I finally did read it, I was like, I think I passed you, didn't I? Or did you? Or was that ACOTAR?
No, that was ACOTAR, because you didn't read Throne of Glass for like a couple years. Actually, Jay finished chapter 1 of Throne of Glass last week, but I don't know what he's doing. He's not
chapter 1.
Yeah.
Chapter 1.
Wow,
he's slower than me.
Jason Biven, where are you? And
oh, not the government. Oh my goodness, she called him by his government name.
Chapter 1.
You know what? You go, Jay.
Okay,
you go. I'm proud of you.
To be fair, he has a hard time like getting started with a book. I think he will love this book because he loved Fourth Wing, and I just feel like it's gonna be up his alley. He just has to get into the meat of it, you know. So
yeah. Now I was it's interesting that you guys say that, because I hadn't read a book in I don't know how many years, but it had been, other than like, now I don't really necessarily read self-help books. But like, I'm reading a book right now called 4,000 Weeks. That's like, it talks about like the concept of time. Like, I'll read stuff like that I find it, but like actual like fiction books, I hadn't read a fiction book in years until Throne of Glass. So same thing. It brought me back. And now look at us. We have a book club.
And now we have
I love fiction books.
You know what's funny is my mom forced Fourth Wing upon my cousin. She told her, she was like, you'd really like this book. And then I was like, Jesse, you would like this book. And then my cousin showed up to watch Spike, and the book was on the counter. And it was like, here you go, Jesse.
So subtly.
Here's an extra little gift for you, honey.
Yeah. And my cousin was like, OMG, look at what your mom. And I was like, of course she did. But it was just funny because she texted me and she was on like chapter 6, and she was like, I ship Violet and Dane. And mom said to me, oh boy, this is like her first like real fantasy. And mom goes, she hasn't been Sarah J. Mossed yet. So true.
Yep.
Not help any pain.
Yeah.
I think I started listening to Throne of Glass because KJ was reading it, and I was like, oh, that sounds like right up my alley. I think I started listening to it, but I don't think I liked the narrator's voice, so I stopped listening to it.
Hey, there's a lot to be said about the narrator.
It is. I now I listen to samples of the books now. Like that way I'm like, because normally I just buy an audiobook. I'm like, oh, this book sounds good. I'm going to listen to the audiobook. And then I'm like, I hate this person's voice. It makes me want to vomit.
I listened to a sample of this and I didn't like it, so I'm reading it instead of listening. I didn't use one of my credits on that. Nope.
So maybe I need to actually like read it.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's so good.
I'm gonna have to wait until after Iron Flame though, because I feel like I'm gonna be real deep into Iron Flame.
And it does get spicier and spicier. Throne of Glass.
It does.
Yep. You'd like that.
I love spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is not as spicy as A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It is not.
But
all right. Well, Johna, should we talk about our featured book this month?
I mean, I guess. All right, guys. Well, if you didn't know, we read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Bandana. I don't know how you say her name.
No.
Socks got it. Sorry, Socks is having a moment right now.
That's okay.
So, yep, we read this.
All right.
And to be fair, like I didn't know like when we were gonna be doing like this. So I was like trying to hurry up and like read it and finish it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna
Yep.
be able to finish it because I just really can't. Like, I'm glad that we stretched it a little bit because I was like, it took me a while to get into this, if I'm being completely honest.
It took a little bit to get into it. The premise, in case anybody wants to know, since Johna doesn't remember.
Okay, look, you want me?
Go ahead, Shelley.
I'll read. I can read the back of the book.
No,
Okay.
no, do not read the back of the book.
Shelley,
Mika,
my take.
and it's pronounced Mika.
Yep.
Mika is.
I was saying Micah.
I know.
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's what it looks like, but that's not what the audiobook says. So
I
we're saying
had a
Mika.
dream that I came on book club and I said Micah, and y'all were like, it's Mika.
I literally the whole time I was reading, I was like, Micah. I thought it was Mika at one point, and then I was like, Micah sounds better.
Mm.
Yeah,
The pronunciation is Mika in the audiobook, and it's British, and it's a lovely British woman who narrates for Audible. So I enjoyed the audiobook. I had audio, Kindle, and the paperback because that's what I do. And so she's a witch, and she was raised in solitude because the person who raised her believed that all witches had to stay separate so nobody would find out that there were witches and do witch hunts. She gets brought into this family that of these 3 little adopted witches who need help being raised, and they have all of this like mysteriousness behind this lawyer that's coming to visit, and there's a love interest. Thank you. Interest. And he is a crotchety young Irish librarian.
Yeah, he is.
That. Yeah, he is. And hilarity and cuteness and cozy, witchy romance vibes ensue with a little bit of mystery and intrigue. And I would say, okay, one of my favorite quotes, like I put a quote that I found, and then I was like, no, really my favorite quote in the book is when she pulls up to Nowhere House and she takes out all the stuff, and the youngest girl says to her, that was some excellent Mary Poppins shit right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I love those kids, man. They
Altamira.
crack me up.
Altamira. Terracotta, always wearing a fancy dress around her because she's planning to go to her funeral. And Jamie says, murder can't be your first choice every time you don't like something. That's what Jamie said to Terracotta.
That's really, she was like, I'm planning her funeral. I was like, bro, how many times have we been there? Okay.
Yeah, she was such a cute, like angry but fun little character. Yeah,
absolutely.
That was a great line.
Yeah.
So you guys go talk. That's the synopsis, and I would give it 4.5 stars.
Wow.
Okay.
I thought it was super cute. I enjoyed
That's pretty
Okay.
high up there on the scale.
Wow. Okay. All right. When Johna was doing the scale thing earlier, I thought it was like out of 10. And I was like, man, she really hated that book at 2.8.
No. Book reviews are always out of 5.
Out of 5.
Okay. All right. Well, Jessica apparently did not enjoy it nearly as much.
No.
It was a book. Yes. I will agree.
Well, tell us why you say that.
Yeah.
First of all, it was slow going, and I genuinely did not really feel any chemistry between her and Jamie. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think they built up that relationship enough for them.
Are you sure you didn't read it too fast?
I definitely read this slow AF. You should have seen me on the couch. I almost started reading it out loud to Socks. Like, that's how serious it was that I was trying to get into it. I almost started reading to Socks. It was predictable.
It was.
The one plot twist that I don't know who's watching. I don't know if we're gonna.
I think you're fine now. Yeah, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
The fact that Lillian was already dead, I did not see that coming at all. I was like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little surprised at that.
I think that the problem with the book was the pacing, because it just like it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I thought that the girls were hilarious. I enjoyed Mika. I enjoyed the opening because it was it was written very well visually. Like
Mhm.
I felt like that opening scene where all of the witches are starting to come together. Like I could see that as a beautiful opening scene for a movie, right? Like
Right.
it was written very well, but then it just was so slow going. And it's, you know, like you look at like the percent of the book that you have left and you're like, I mean, like, are we gonna like get to the part with the thing and like what she came here to do? And because they're so, you know, they know that there's a date, you know, immediately, like we've got a date, December 26th, the man is coming, we got to get these girls ready. And then the last part of the book, like the last quarter of the book is like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
I did write that in my review. I said most of the big action happens in the last 15-20% of the book for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think my biggest problem, I have to agree with Johna. I was not really a Mika Jamie shipper. Like, I mean, I did because you were supposed to be.
Right.
But like, honestly, like she helped clean him up after like he cut himself on glass or something. And then like he was going to her room a couple nights and hanging out. And like, remember, before he's like super cold shouldering her. And then he like hangs out in her room a couple nights. And then all of a sudden she's like, gosh, I'm heating up. My breath is just so quick around. Like it just felt so sudden to me.
She's like, I'm waiting for Jamie with bated breath. I'm like, girl, go somewhere. Like, calm down.
He was so mean. Hung out in her room for like 3 nights, and all of a sudden he's like irresistible to her.
Right.
Like I felt like I agree. I felt like I felt like it went from like 0 to 100. Like it wasn't flushed out enough for me to like really see it, I guess.
Yes, I would agree.
They didn't care if she liked him or not. I just really dug him. So
I mean, I loved Jamie with his grumpy old man librarian vibes, even though he's like in his 30s. Like I totally got that. And I even told, if you guys watched my interview with Joe Arden, that's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KJ Today. I told Joe, I was like, because I had just listened to a book where he was doing an Irish accent. And then they were like, oh, Jamie's Irish. And I immediately was hearing Joe Arden's voice in his Irish accent while I was like reading Jamie's parts. And I was like, okay, Jamie, you got a little bit better with the Irish accent. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, like, he just like wouldn't give Mika a chance. I'm like, bro, like, you know that you need her. So like, why are you acting like this? Like it took her almost dying for you to be like, Mika, I love you so much. I can't believe what?
He had a lot of walls up. He was protecting himself. He was afraid to get hurt.
Both of them had very, very rough upbringings, very solitary abandonment issues for sure. Both of them.
But
yeah,
like,
Johna. Yeah, Johna.
No, but like they didn't like talk about it.
Right? Look,
I'm not saying it was healthy.
They did not have that connection with each other. Like we knew that, but they didn't know that.
Right. Like if anything, I thought they were just gonna be like friends. Like
it was heading that way.
Like I was like,
Mom,
okay, like
yes.
Tell her, Haley.
Mom, do not look like that. They literally made potions in her bedroom for 3 nights. And then she's like, I don't know.
I mean, they're living in the same house. They're together all the time.
Okay, okay, I love a good forced proximity, like nobody's business, okay? I love it, okay?
I love a good forced proximity.
The one bed trope.
That's what, the one bed forced proximity is where you like have to be together all the time. Like, oh, you and this guy go, like you just so happen to end up at a cabin together that's snowed in and you can't leave. That's forced proximity because you have to be around each other. I got the whole forced proximity thing and the blah, blah, blah. But like, honestly, like they didn't develop enough feelings for each other as the book went on. And they're like, I love you so much. Let's have sex. And I'm like, cool. All right. I don't know what happened. We went from 0 to 100 like real quick.
Which I'm not saying anything. I think like I agree with what KJ and Mom are saying. They both have their problems. Then they're living together, but none of that was written out. Like
Yeah.
none of that was like fleshed out. They didn't really communicate and connect over their problems together.
Mhm.
And other than him hanging out in her room a couple nights, there was no really like, you know, what they say, a meet cute. There was like no meet cutes happening in the house where they would like run into each other. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I feel like the relationship could have been written out more is all.
Yeah. I did think that it was Primrose is reveal. Yeah. I get that. I kind of felt that coming too, that like Primrose and Lillian were like related. Only
I didn't
because
either.
they have flowers for names.
That's so smart. I didn't even think about that.
Even think about that.
That's what I thought. I was like, Lily, Primrose. I was
John
like,
is following the clues better than all
Yeah,
of
look at that.
And she's saying, I'm not going to follow clues. And there she was following.
See, I can follow the clues in a romance, but like if you give me like a detective novel, I'm like, I don't know, the janitor did it.
I'm gonna say that I read, I can't remember if it was at the beginning of the book or at the end of the book, or I read it online, but somewhere I read a little snippet from the author, and she said, I just wanted to write, and I think this is probably why it was underdeveloped and short in some of those ways. She's like, I just wanted to write something like cute and cozy witch vibes. So that's what she was going for. And I think she did that because frankly, I would have liked to have seen more of how the magic worked.
Me too.
That was kind of my one criticism, less about their relationship and more about a little bit more of the world building. And I think that's probably because I'm a fantasy reader, so I'm reading, like we said, Sarah J. Maas and some of the heavy fantasy hitters, and there's such an enormous, like almost too much world building that you're like, 1,000 pages in to understand one person's magic. I mean, like her, even like I would have found it cozy and comforting to see her doing more with her potions, like how she did it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like,
and I'm not,
how cute was that?
No, the like last thing that matters to me really in the books is the romance. And so I didn't really care that it wasn't like where it was going. I wanted more of, like you said, the magic and her with the girls and teaching them things that, the girls developing their magic more. That was kind of, and when it ended, I was like, that was what I wanted more of, is like, we could have had so much more of these characters. And it just was like, all of a sudden she was like, okay, well, this is just a one book thing, so I better wrap it up.
I mean, 316 pages of what?
Well, what she could have done, had she chosen to do it, is really she could have done the first book. I know the first book. It could have been about Mika, and then she could have done subsequent books about Mika bringing each girl up to like witchy adulthood. That would have been fantastic.
I would love to see the girls like grow into their like adulthood. Like I would love to see them develop over time, because they all like love each other, but like they all have these very specific like quirky personalities, and I would love to see how they develop those. And then when they go out into the world and they're like, okay, what are we gonna do?
And they are all all four of them, and I didn't even realize this, are from very different ethnic backgrounds.
Yeah.
So
I
didn't know Terracotta was Vietnamese. I don't know. I mean, I had to like read it, like it didn't come across for me for some reason in the book. But I think because of all three of the girls as even their heritage or whatever, you could have even had each of them exploring their backgrounds as part of that.
It could have even been further too, or developed more in other books, because come to find out, Lillian she wasn't just an archaeologist. That was her excuse to see if societies existed and how witches existed in other parts of the world. Was it kept secret? So it could have been like also this whole revelation of witches coming to light or becoming more normal. Like it could have been a whole thing too.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder if, I would assume that any author who like puts this much into characters that they would like them to have more, that they would like to be able to tell more about. I wonder how much of it was like restrictions on this is your deal.
Yep.
And this is all we're giving you.
Yep.
So
Right,
make
yeah.
the most of it.
Yeah.
Right?
And we certainly know how that is. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the same way it is in licensing, right? As in when book deals, like you're supposed to write you get to write one book and it needs to be, and you have to fit it in this hole. It has to be a witchy, cozy book under 400 pages or something,
Yeah.
And then it fits the bill if that was her assignment.
I mean, like,
for sure.
I give it like a 3 out of 5. And like, it was cozy. It was cute. It just, like we said, it was a little underdeveloped. And I also felt like a little weird about like her going with Jamie to like be with his, like to see his mother or whatever. And then he was in there for like they drove like 4 hours for him to be in there for 10 minutes to get like like she just so happened to bring these letters or journals that your dad had, and she's just been walking around with them and the what? And like I would love to see more of like what his dad wrote in those journals.
Yeah.
Like
so what I'm getting from you, Johna, is that you actually would have liked it if it would have been more of a story, if there would have been more to it.
Yeah.
You didn't like it because of how it was condensed.
Yeah.
Into,
I don't think all of the dots connected where they were supposed to.
Well, even when she went into town and she's talking about, the ex from college, and you're like, ooh, who's this guy? Like, what's going there? And we're like, we're not getting that. Like, he's not going to show up at some point and her powers are going to get out of control because she's like, she used that as an excuse. Then it's like, okay, like, what did he do to you that Lillian, would believe that you would lose control of your powers? Like, what was that relationship?
Yeah.
What I want to know is like what she told like Lillian about that, because from what she told Jamie, it was just like, oh, like I told him because I loved him or whatever. And then he was just like, oh, get me money out of this ATM and then do this and then do that. And I'm like, well, what did she tell Lillian to make Lillian think that, like,
I think it had to have been more than
there had to have been more to it than that.
Yeah. It was just like,
I mean, you don't always tell some guy that you are first dating, like, let me tell you about all the crap my ex did. You know? Like that.
Oh, you mean you don't like just spill your trauma on people? Wild.
I do. And my therapist told me that I was putting too many marbles in the other person's marble jar. So
you know what? That's pretty good. You're putting too many eggs in that person's basket. I get that.
She said, what? She said, you are tipping their jars over. They are great.
Look, you gotta
just one. Clink. Just one marble.
Look, you give them one, they give you one, and then you just go back and forth.
That's exactly what she said, but I was
she said, here it is, guys, all my marbles.
Take it or leave it.
Right. I will say that one of my favorite characters was Ian. I wish we would have got more of him too.
I loved Ian.
He was lovely.
Yeah.
Look, and y'all can laugh at me all you want, but I just imagined him as Patrick Stewart with a rainbow scarf on.
I totally thought this thing.
Like I was like, he was like, oh, he's got like hair, and I was like, nope, he's bald in my head. I don't know what you're talking about. That is Patrick Stewart with a rainbow scarf on. I do not care.
He was so enjoyable. I loved him when he was like on the social media, like that he was sending her that message on Instagram. He slid into her DMs in the like funniest way. I just thought he was so cute. I really did think all of the characters, even though it all needed more development and everything, I did think that they were fun and enjoyable. I mean, I just thought, what a cute little cast of characters this is.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, and I think our biggest problem is that, I mean, we just didn't get enough. There could have been so much more to this. It had a lot of potential.
It did. It did. Yep, I agree with that. So
yes.
So I'm still sticking with my higher score, but I tend to score really high unless if it's like below a 4, I'm probably not going to finish it. I mean, I'm just like,
Goodness.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
spending
would
my
be the
time.
same way. That's
Yeah.
why I'm thinking like I would probably say a 4.3. And I mean, if something was below a 4, there's no way I'd
No.
waste my time on it.
It was a solid 3 for me. Haley,
Haley?
what about you?
I rated it a 4, but I'm also thinking I'm kind of like sometimes I do higher because I get too empathetic. I'm like, think of all the work they put into it.
Yeah.
Like, this was cozy. It did what it was supposed to do, even though, like, after talking it out, I feel like it was probably more of a 3 for me just because I didn't even, like, feel the connection to even, like, the romantic relationship, like, my mom and KJ did. So I probably honestly say like a 3.5 or a 3 after this conversation.
After you've been persuaded by everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
No, I feel like here's what happens. It's kind of like when
Here's what happens.
Sometimes you got to talk it out, okay? You got to talk it out.
It's like when you're
Why else
like,
should we go to therapy?
I like you're like, I like pepperoni pizza. And then the person's like, I don't. And you're like, oh, thank God. I really don't like pepperoni pizza either. That's like.
You do that? Haley, why do you do that? You need to be more authentically yourself.
Look, it's people pleasing. Oh my God, Haley, I do the exact same thing, okay? It's people pleasing to the 10th power.
Yeah.
I get it.
Listen, KJ, these girls are still young enough that's what that's where they're at.
That pizza conversation is so legitimate because there's so many times where people are like, oh, well, I just ordered a cheese pizza. Is that cool? And I'm like,
yes.
That's fine.
No, so
I don't even like cheese pizza.
Coming in, I'm like, this book's a 4. And then John is like, this book's a 3. And I'm like, yes, it is. It's a 3.
Well, like, I don't know. And like, I also like my rating, like if I did decide to reread it, which I won't, as we all know, but like, maybe I'm just not in the right headspace maybe I wasn't in the right headspace when I read it.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been it. But I mean, because reading is all about like how you're feeling in the moment. That's why you're reading that book. And like, you know, when I was reading it, I couldn't even tell you what was going on because you read this at like the beginning of the month. But like a lot of stuff is like happened. And, you know, like when I was reading this and I was just like, but it was slow going. And so I gave it a 3 because I was like, it didn't catch me like I wanted it to.
Yeah.
And then it just was like, okay. Boom, all the stuff. Okay, bye. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. I give it a 3. KJ and Shelley are in the 4s. Haley's with me in the 3s.
All right. So Iron Flame, guys. November 7th?
Yep. 3 days before my birthday.
Yeah.
So question. That is the release is 2 weeks away. So are we not going to have the book club, do you think, possibly until after we read Iron Flame?
Probably not. I don't think I've got it in me to do another book club before then.
Yeah.
Now, I don't need to be here for it. If you and Johna want to read something or whatever, like there's no rules. This is the Can't Commit to a Book Club. So, but yeah, I don't have another book in me. I'll probably keep going with Accidental Magic, but I'm going to be back in my mode of like slow reading.
Yeah, I was thinking I'll probably, because I'm still at the beginning of my book, so maybe I'll finish that and then I'll perfectly be ready to read Iron Flame. So
yeah. Well, and then when we get back together, we can talk about what we have read, do updates on what we've read separately, and still be able to talk about Iron Flame. Mm-hmm. And we could always do a like first impressions book club where we're not, you know, entirely through Iron Flame, but we give our first impressions of, you know, the first part of the book or whatever.
That could be fun.
I don't know. Whatever. Johna? What are we gonna do?
I couldn't tell you. I literally was just sitting here like thinking because my brain is oh no. Haley said goodbye.
Haley.
Oh no. There she is.
There she is. We missed you.
Haley. Can you hear us? Why is she looking down?
No, she probably can't hear us.
No, wait. I gotta pull up my text.
SpaghettiOs.
It's time to go. What were you thinking, Johna?
I was thinking like, and like you guys can absolutely say no, but like how like I do like my like how I do like my random like book reviews, like, hey, this is how I felt about this book and blah blah blah. Like if you guys wanted to like do something like that and like send it over to me, I can like post it on the YouTube channel. That way book club is like still going on. It's just like we're talking about what we're reading right now and we don't have to like all be reading the same
we
thing.
just record a little tidbit for you to do. Oh, we can do that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, because it can't all fall on me, guys.
No, that's a great idea. I do, for the week that Iron Flame comes out, super unfortunately, I'm going to be in California on a business trip that entire week.
Unfortunate that she's going to be in California.
Well, it's a business trip.
Yeah.
I'm not
but you
having
get to
any
be
fun.
warm.
Yeah, well, I don't care. I don't like to be hot. So I prefer the weather here. Actually. So I am going to be traveling all day on Monday, the day before it comes out, and Warner Brothers meetings all day on Tuesday. So I should be able to read at some point, like, but I can't like go to dinner and be like, Ted, don't talk to me. I'm going to sit here and read Iron Flame.
I feel like Ted would understand.
On the way back on Friday, I should have, it's like, there are no direct flights. So I'm going to be like 8 hours of travel on the way back Friday. So I should be getting a lot of reading done on Friday, but yeah.
Nice.
So my original plan was to go to the midnight release and then take Tuesday off of work because the one that is available is in Indianapolis and I'm in Bloomington. But Jay might be on call for his hazmat, so we don't know if we're going to that one anymore. But that we're still going to the one that's the weekend after in Louisville, which is the one we actually bought tickets to go to. Because the other one was just the Barnes & Noble free one. Mm-hmm. But if you want, Johna, Jay and I, if I go to one or both, could do like a little bit of like vlogging that we could add into the book club.
Yeah, I would love that.
Absolutely. That would be awesome.
And do it horizontal for YouTube, right? So instead of vertical, shoot your phone horizontal so you get the landscape view so it works good for YouTube.
Okay.
I would love that.
Perfect.
There you go.
That's awesome.
All right.
Yay, content.
Content.
Woo!
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming to book club. Make sure you go and get I don't know if my show's sponsored by ConQuest Journals, but I'm making it sponsored by ConQuest Journals. Please go and get your Waiting for the Night reading journal. It's the best thing ever. I love it. I've had mine for almost a month now, probably over a month, and it made KJ will eventually release the footage of me sobbing when Patches handed it to me.
Oh yes.
Yes, we need that footage. That was a beautiful graphic, by the way. KJ, was that you?
Yes.
That was gorgeous.
Yes.
I love your night sky there. Perfect.
Oh, thank you. I can send that to you if you'd like it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget your kitty cat pencil pouch.
And you have to bring your pencil pouch. Go to ConQuestJournal.com and washi tape. Go to ConQuestJournal.com and use promo code KJ today for 10% off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys. You're the best.
All right. I love you guys. Thanks for coming to book club.
All right.
Bye.
Johna, do you have end credits?
I can play the beginning credits again.
We'll just put the graphic up. Thank you.
Okay.
Get away.
Thank you. Good night.
I gotta find the graphic.
I got it.